Hello dear students, today we are going to see some facts, information related to the last lesson which is written by Alfonso Daudet. It is important for you to definitely remember the name of the writer. It's very important for you to note down something about the French districts, specifically all Alsace and Lorraine, the time when the story was written, how it was passed into the hands of Prussia, some facts related to history, which I'm sure you might have read in your history chapters. Taking this as the background, Alfonso Daudet has mentioned about Poland and parts of Austria. Now let's talk about that eventful day and what more about this. As you know that France did not want to go to school. What was the chief reason behind it? Number one, he had not learned about the topic which was about participles. Second reason, M. Hamel, a French teacher, was too strict, and most often he preferred outdoors because he believed to indulge students in certain activities. Now let's move on further and see what happened. On the way to school, he passed a place which was known there as Town Hall. It's important for you because at times it is often asked about that what happened in this particular place of Town Hall. There he saw a bulletin board, right? And he saw that there was crowd reading something, but it was difficult for him to find out what exactly was it. To move on further, when he reached his school, M. Hamel's garden, these are some of the key points which you should definitely know. He finally entered the classroom. Now, what was so different on that particular day? Let's make a comparison. Normally, whenever he used to enter his class, but on that day, when he stopped himself near the town hall and finally entered the school, there was something was different. What that something was different, let's identify. Normally on a routine day, the class used to always be noisy. There used to be noise. Lesson repeated loudly, and teachers ruler, that is of course M. Hamel, rapping. Now, what was so different on that particular day? What was so different on that particular day? Let's identify. As soon as he entered the class, he was astonished to see that everything was so still, as if it's a Sunday morning. As if it's a Sunday morning. Also, he identified that classmates were sitting their marked places. Teacher M. Hamill, dressed himself formally. More to his surprise, what he saw that there were some adults and some children. Who these adults were? Number 1, Old Hauser, former, do not forget these names, former postmaster, and yes, we should not forget to mention about former mayor. Let's highlight Old Hauser, former postmaster and former mayor. He was surprised that why is it so that today the day is looking so different. Let's move on further and identify. He was now able to understand. Let's know more about it. Now he was clear with the fact that what was written there, town hall, when he stopped, it was actually an order that came from Berlin. What was that order? Point number 1, lessons now onwards to be taught in German, no more in French. Hence, this title of the chapter is stressed hereupon. Last French lesson today, that these children and adults, why they were here? Because it was actually the last lesson in French. Let's identify. Now let's move on to the next point. The next point states French, up till now, it was suddenly realized by people around, neglected due to what were the chief reasons? What were the chief reasons? The chief reasons for the neglect. Number 1, students carefree attitude towards study. Another thing, parents made children to work. Third reason is related to M. Hamill, teacher M. Hamill. At times, he used to take up the classes casually. So these were the 3 chief reasons for the neglect up till now. Today, something was different. And what that something was different, let's identify. Let's identify, children, dear students. Hamill taught what all? It should be known to you. He was teaching grammar. He was also teaching writing, history, and to your surprise, he was also reciting side by side Baba, Bibi, just like babies to repeat after. And each and every student, each and every adult was responding. Dear students, do not forget the central theme of this particular chapter. Number 1, it's about linguistic chauvinism. It's about the theme of procrastination. Procrastination, what is the meaning of word procrastination? Procrastination means the tendency to keep postponing your things. How does this particular theme fits into it? They were continuously neglecting the learning of French language, as also mentioned in this particular part. Let's try to move further that how this M. Hamel was teaching today. M. Hamel today was teaching with a lot of patience, with fervor, and with patience. You must remember these two words whenever and wherever you need to write down your answers for. Please do not forget the emotional parting that we see towards the end of the chapter. Clock struck 12 and there were sounds which easily people around, students around, teacher around were able to make out. It was actually the drill being done by the Prussians. M. Hamel bid goodbye, wrote something on the board. And what was that? He wrote down, "We la France." What does this mean? This means love for France, love for language French, and with gesture, subtly, softly, he dismissed the class, and everyone around they were all so sad to note about. So dear students, do not forget about the French districts that is mentioned. The French districts Alsace and Lorraine passed into the hands of Prussia, and these notes I'm going to send you also in the form of PDF in our WhatsApp group for further reference.